Hello viewers, this is Flying Flapper and welcome to more Project Cars 2 in the form of the Neo Racing GT3 League, where we're doing round 9 of the Spa Grand Prix in the Porsche 911 GT3 cars. Now this is a demo lap of Spa. If those of you that are watching don't know too much about Spa, as we go down the hill and up El Rouge, one of the most exciting and dangerous corners of the circuit, as we go through the Raidillon and through to Kemmel Straight. So riding up the hill, reaching speeds of about 160 miles an hour, braking hard into Le Combe, down to third gear, try and get a good line out of here so we can maximise the speed through the exit of this corner as we go a little bit wide through Malmedy, and down to second gear round turn 8 of Brussels, hugging the apex, and then going down the hill and into turn 9 and hugging the camber on the right hand side, using as much of the track as possible as we come up to the double gauche at turn 10, and again using as much of that road as possible as we come up to La Fon at turn 11, and then through to turn 12, using the apex there and using as much as that curb as possible as we go into turn 13 at Campus, riding onto that curb, turning back in through Stavelot at turn 14, and then going through Paul Ferrer at turn 15, through turn 16, and then through to Blanchimont, the fast left-hander at turn 17. Near enough full throttle through there as we approach the bus stop chicane, hard on the brakes, into second gear, riding the curb on the right hand side, riding the curb on the left hand side through the last turn at turn 19, and then across the line we come with a 2 minutes 22. So let's have a look at the classified qualifying results, and we find that on pole is Neil Farmack with a 2 minute 21.8, with TY, his teammate, a 10th further down in P2, with P3 Flying Flapper, P4 Footman, P5 is Bidster, in 6th is Keith, 7th is Jamo, 8th is Stevie Q, 9th is Callum Paul Banks, and 10th is Seek 1, 11th is Razorblade, 12th is Lil Yam, 13th is Blakeney, and riding up the rear is Jay Hewson, who got a penalty in the last round at Long Beach and wasn't allowed to qualify the result of his penalty, and is in 14th. So without further ado, let's get straight into the race. So welcome guys to round 9 of the Spa Grand Prix. What's got to be said, treacherous conditions in this race, as we see TY in the background going to the pit as he had the wrong tyres on, and as we wait for the lights to go out, we find ourselves with Neil Farmack on pole, with Flying Flapper now in second, and Footman promoted to third, Bicester to fourth, as we get underway. And a good start from everyone as we come up to turn 1 at La Source. And it doesn't look like there's any overtakes as we go down the hill and through to the old start-finish line. So down the hill, Neil Farmack gets a little bit of a gap over Flying Flapper. We got Footman sort of near enough on the exhaust of Flying Flapper as we go up El Rouge and up the hill. And there's contact in the background. Can't really see who it is, so let's have a look at the replay. On board with Stevie Q for Team Yellow, just behind, I believe it's Keith, and actually his teammate Jamo is nipped in front of him as we approach El Rouge. And as we go up the hill and into Raidillon, Jamo spins out, Stevie Q into the back of him, and then I think that's Callum Paul Banks into the side of Stevie Q as he spins round. So let's have a look on board with Callum Paul Banks in the blue and white car. And as we go downhill and approach El Rouge, you can see the two Team Yellow cars in front, And as Stevie Q collapses into his teammate, Callum goes straight into the side of him, gets collected by another car. I'm not exactly sure who that is. So let's have a look on board with Lil Yam. He was behind all the incidents. And we see Razorblade go up the inside of him. So as we go down and into El Rouge, there's the contact in front, and it's like the parting of the sea as Lil Yam just goes straight through the middle of them and moves up into 7th position. So riding back on board with the leaders, we've got Neil Farmack and Fly Flapper side by side. Fly Flapper looks like he's going to get in front. No, he's not, because he's gone too deep into the corner at Lecombe. So Neil Farmack regains the lead from Fly Flapper, with Footman in 3rd and Bidster in 4th. And as we approach turn 8 at Brussels, nice and clean through there. Of course, the car's going quite tentatively because of the conditions. And going into turn 9, nice and clean through there. But you can see all the spray coming from Neil Farmack's car. Very, very difficult to see through all that spray. As we look aboard with Bidster just behind Footman in 4th position. Footman goes a little bit wide through the double gauche. Bidster really closing in on Footman, although probably can't see much through that spray as we wait for the camera to pan round. And yeah, nice and clean through there, but Bidster still on the tail of Footman as we ride on board with Keith in 6th place, with Lil Yam just behind in 7th, Razorblade in 8th, Jay Hewson in 9th. That's a great start from Jay Hewson. It's Razorblade, nearly contact with Lil Yam, just coming out the exit of that corner there. Razorblade went a little bit wide, and that was probably his saving grace there, because it looked like there's going to be contact, and in these conditions anything could have happened there. So as we go through Blanchimont for turn 17, Razorblade goes really wide. That should give the opportunity for Jay Hewson to close the gap on Razorblade. Like I said, great start from Jay Hewson. Remember, starting from 14th position, he finds himself in 9th position at the bus stop chicane and looking to take advantage of the battle for 7th position as we ride back on board with Footman, who's in 3rd just behind Fly Flapper. Fly Flapper in 2nd position, and not too far behind Neil Farmack as we're on lap 2 of 19 going down into El Rouge, with Bidster not too far behind Footman as well. So great start from the top 4 as we come out of Radion and onto the Kemmel Straight. And as we look on board with Lil Yam, as they've just come out of Blanchimont, Radion, we can see Jay Hewson, no, not Jay Hewson, Razorblade and Lil Yam side by side. Looks like Lil Yam is going to get in front. Jay Hewson backs off a bit because you can't get 3 through that corner, but he's right on the exhaust of Razorblade as we go through Malmedy. Again, backs off a bit. Like I say, really treacherous conditions here at the Spa-Francorchamps. And as we go through Brussels and into turn 9, again, nice and clean through there. But great start there from Jay Hewson in 8th position. So we ride back on board with Fly Flapper in 2nd. He has closed that gap slightly on Neil Farmack. And slight contact there between the two of them. Not enough to spin Neil Farmack out. So just a love tap really. As Neil Farmack goes a little bit wide out of the corner there. And going through, Campus. And then through to Stavlo. With Bidster again, still not too far behind Footman. And like I say, so far so good for the top 4. No mistakes as of yet, and really good racing between them all. As we ride aboard with Jay Hewson in 7th position, he's started to catch up with Razorblade. He's got a good run on him as it goes, as we come up to Blanchimont. And Jay Hewson's got the inside line for Razorblade. Is he going to make it stick? I think he has. Yes, he has got in front of him. Razorblade has letting through is Jay Houston. Goes a little bit wide out of Blanchimont, but into bus stop chicane, and he is more importantly in front of Razorblade, although he does go a little bit wide, and that gives a chance for Razorblade to go around the outside. Can he make that stick? I don't think he can, because that car's a little bit twitchy on the exit. Although saying that, Razorblade still gets a good run and has got the inside line for La Source at turn 1 as we're on lap 3 of 19. Jay Houston tries to perform the undercut and will use that slipstream from Razorblade as we go down the hill and into El Rouge. You can see all that spray coming from Razorblade's car. Really difficult to see what you're doing as Jay Houston goes a little bit wide, cuts the corner a little bit, but doesn't gain an advantage from that, so he's okay. But as you can see, yeah, you can barely see Razorblade in front of him as we look on board Jamo, and it's even worse, he can't see the two cars at all. Like I say, really bad conditions here at Spa as we come up to Le Camp. And as we ride on board with the leaders, they've just come out of Brussels and down the hill into turn 9, and Flappo all over the back of Neil Farmack, looking to pounce if Neil Farmack makes a mistake. It's very difficult to pass on this circuit, especially in these conditions as well. But at the moment, they haven't really put a foot wrong, and they're matching each other stride for stride as we come up to Le Fond at turn 11, and Footman goes a little bit wide. Bicester looks to make the overtake, but he can't do it. It's just a little bit too tight for him, but he awaits for his opportunity to grab third position from Footman as we ride back aboard with Flying Flapper, and yes, he is still on the back of Neil Farmack as we go through Paul Frere and through turn 16, and oh god, this is tense stuff as we look aboard with Bicester. He's even closer to the back of Footman now as we go through Blanchimont. Footman goes really wide. Bicester does back off slightly there, maybe make a move here at the bus stop chicane. Can he make it stick? He thinks about it, and he has got the inside line, but Footman still out in front. Really good driving between the pair of them, and Bicester is going to have to await his opportunity again as we cross the line to end lap 3 and into lap 4 as we go through to La Source, and Bicester's got the outside line, and can he make that stick? I mean, that is an audacious move from Bicester. Can he get through? Oh god, I don't know what's going to happen here. Footman just nips in front of Bicester, and probably wise for Bicester to back off a little bit there, because it could have been carnage if they were side by side. But Bicester has got the slipstream of Footman in front, although he's got all that spray from Footman's car as well as we approach Le Camp at turn 5, and Footman's got the outside line, Bicester's got the inside line. Is Bicester going to get through? Yes, it does. But oh god, that is really close between, nearly contact as we go through Malmedy. But you know, who dares wins, as the saying goes, and Bicester does nick that third position away from Footman, although he does go a little bit deep into Brussels, and Footman tries to take advantage, but he can't get past him as we get through to turn 9, and Bicester starts pulling away as Lil Yam gets very close to the back of Blakeney at Le Camp. So a really close battle between these two as well, although Lil Yam does clip the bollard on the entry to that corner, and he does lose a little bit of ground to Blakeney as we go through Brussels at turn 8. So a frantic start here at Spa, but some excellent racing and good promotion really for Neo Racing here. It does really show that you can have some really good racing, even though incidents and crashes do happen from time to time. As we ride aboard Jay Houston, he's moved up to 6th position now, just on the back of Keith as he rides side by side with Keith what is going to happen out of Blanchimont for turn 17. Jay Hewson goes around the outside. Has he made it stick? I think he has. That's a brilliant move there from Jay Hewson, and he moves up into 5th, and Keith down to 6th position. As we're looking at earlier replay on board with Footman, I think he's made a mistake as the gap has kind of risen. Yes, he spins on the curb there, goes wide, clatters into the wall on the left-hand side, and that's going to lose him even more time to Bidster. Lucky that he didn't spin round and not lose too much time there, as we ride back aboard with the leaders in Neil Farmack and Flying Flapper, still pretty close together, although I have to say Neil has pulled out a 1.5 second gap now to Flying Flapper as we go through El Rouge on lap 5. Nice and tidy through there from Neil Farmack, same as Flying Flapper as well. Flying Flapper obviously must have made a slight mistake on the last lap, but still really close between them as we look on board with Footman. Like I say, bit of a gap now between him and Bidster, with Jay Hewson closing in on Footman now. With Razorblade in 7th position on the back of Keith in 6th as we come up to Lecombe at turn 5. And oh god, he outbrakes himself slightly there. Razorblade goes wide, and that's going to lose him time to Keith in 5th position as he goes wide as well, just before the entry to Malmedy. So back aboard with Neil Farmack and Flying Flapper, and there's still a second gap between both of them. Sorry about my voice there, guys. As we come out the exit there and into Campus at turn 13, and then on to turn 14 for Stavlo, and Neil Farmack goes really wide out of that exit there. That's going to lose him a little bit of time there, I feel. But still really good race between the pair of them as we look on board with Bidster in 3rd position. He's starting to close that gap. Although saying that, he's 6 seconds behind, so let's have a look on board with Bidster for the replay as he comes to Stavlo. Just loses the car slightly down into the barrier, and again, very lucky as he bounces off the wall and back onto the circuit. So we're back on board with Neil Farmack and Flying Flapper, still pretty close between them. But Neil Farmack goes a little bit wide at the bus stop chicane, slightly outbrakes himself. That gives Flying Flapper a good run to try and catch up with Neil Farmack as the gap closes down. And as we go on to lap 6 and on to La Source at turn 1, Flying Flapper needs to get a good run up here to try and use that slipstream to maybe make an overtaking opportunity on Neil Farmack, although Neil Farmack does get a good exit out there as well as we go down the hill and into El Rouge. Yeah, nice and tidy there from Flying Flapper. He uses as much as that road as possible, but he has now got that draft from Neil Farmack. Is it going to be enough to make a pass though? Possibly not, as Flying Flapper tries to get out of that spray and he draws up alongside him, but he's not going to go around the outside of him at Lecombe. So he holds his line and sticks to the back of Neil Farmack and tries to apply that pressure, and hopefully that will get to Neil Farmack as that gap gets even closer as we come out of Brussels and into turn 9 down the hill. Nice and clean through there. Now guys, one thing I'm going to have to say is again, we had a bit of a problem with the replay as Neil Farmack goes a little bit wide there. Oh my god, it's really close there, so we'll go back to the action here. And Flapper all over the back of Neil Farmack as we go through Le Fon and out the exit of turn 12. But yeah, reiterating my point, yes, so there is a problem with the replay system on Project Cars 2 where it doesn't seem to save more than about half an hour of a race. So it actually cuts out on lap 13, and then there was a lot of action in the final sort of 6 or 7 laps. So I really do apologise for that. Unfortunately, it's not my fault. It is to do with the game, and I don't know if that problem exists on the PC, but it certainly appears on the PS4, and it's something that SMS really does need to address. Not that I think they're listening to us, because I'm sure I'm not the only one complaining about this issue. So as we end lap 6 and on to lap 7, it's as close as you like between the leaders, with Neil Farmack still in first and Flying Flapper in second. So as we come out of the source, Neil Farmack goes a little bit wide. It almost sort of loses the rear slightly, regathers it though. But Flying Flapper will close that gap as we go into El Rouge and up the hill through to Radion. And Flying Flapper trying to apply that pressure and use that slipstream to try and close the gap even further. So down the Kemmel Straight and approaching Lacombe at turn 5. Both nice and clean through there. Flying Flapper using the line of Neil Farmack, nice and clean through there. And then through to Brussels at turn 8. Tight right-hander as we go down the hill and into turn 9. And nice and clean through there as well. So going through the double gauche, Neil Farmack goes a little bit wide again. And that will enable Flying Flapper to close that gap. Well, that is very, very difficult to see. And as we apply the brakes for La Farm and out the exit of turn 12, that gap is coming down even further. And oh my god, Neil Farmack makes a slight mistake there, nearly loses it, and hard on the brakes as well. Flying Flapper nearly into the back of Neil Farmack. They had to almost perform emergency braking there. And as we come out and onto the Paul Ferrer corner and through to Blanchimont at turn 17, Neil Farmack goes really wide. And Flying Flapper really applying that pressure to Neil Farmack as we approach the bus stop chicane. And Neil Farmack, where is Neil Farmack? He's gone wide. And Flying Flapper does nip through and into first place. So let's have a look at the replay of Neil Farmack and see how he's made this mistake. You can see Flying Flapper all over his mirrors as we come out of the Stavelot and the Paul Ferrer corner, through turn 16 and through Blanchimont at turn 17, and Neil Farmack goes really wide there, like I said. Obviously that pressure really getting to him, because as he approaches the bus stop chicane, gets late on the brakes and outbrakes himself, goes wide, tries to rejoin, but Flying Flapper is there, and Neil Farmack has to then rejoin the circuit in second position. So let's ride on board with Callum Paul Banks in 8th position, all over the back of Jamo. So it's the fight for 7th position as we go into the bus stop chicane. And Callum gets good traction out of there, and he goes up the outside of Jamo. Jamo will have the inside line for La Source at turn 1 on lap 8. But can Callum Paul Banks make the stick, as he does get in front of him, but he has, like I say, got the outside line. This is not going to help him. He's gone wide as well, and he's going to lose that traction. Jamo's going to have better traction coming out that corner and going into El Rouge, and I think Jamo's just nipped in front again. Indeed he has. So Jamo reclaims that 7th position, but a great battle and great respect between the two drivers there. But Callum Paul Banks is going to have that slipstream on Jamo going down the Kemmel Straight. Can Callum get up the inside of Jamo coming up to Lacombe? Both of them on the brakes. Can Callum make it stick? Oh, just about, and Callum regains that 7th position, and that's fantastic racing between the both of them. Callum Paul Banks not giving up on Jamo, and gets his just rewards there, with Jamo having to settle for 8th position at the moment. So riding on board the Razorblade a bit further on in the race on lap 10. Razorblade in 6th position just behind Keith. Keith having a very solid race here, still in 5th position. And Razorblade goes a little bit wide, so he's going to lose a little bit of time to Keith. But one mistake on this circuit in these conditions can almost end the race for people. So people have got to be very cautious in this torrential rain here at Spa-de-Francorchamps, as we ride on board with Bidstar, who has closed that gap on Neil Farmack. Bidstar looking to pounce and seize the opportunity as we see Neil Farmack go wide out of the Stavelot corner. And like I say, I mean, you can barely see Neil Farmack just in front as that rain starts to hammer down even more and leave more water on the circuit. And as we go into the bus stop chicane, Neil Farmack defends his line well. Bidstar can't make a move, so it is as it is, or as it was, with Neil Farmack in 2nd and Bidstar in 3rd. But it's as close as it could be as Bidstar gets the inside line. Neil Farmack goes wide. What is going to happen in? Bidstar gets much better traction out of the corner and he nips into 2nd position. So we ride on board with Razorblade a bit further on in the race on lap 11 out of 19. And he's still all over the back of Keith. Can Razorblade make a move on Keith, or will it stay as it is as we come out of turn 16 and onto Blanchimont for turn 17? Oh, both of them go a little bit wide there, but Razorblade still on the back of Keith. This is exciting stuff at the moment as we go into the bus stop chicane. Razorblade, let's go around the outside. Oh my god, no, he can't make that stick. That was too much of a audacious move to make on a corner like that, with puddles all over the inside of the circuit, as the water really does gather up on this circuit. We ride aboard with Jay Houston, who finds himself in 4th position now, going up the hill through El Rouge and onto Blanchimont, but he did have a big gap there, so let's have a look at the replay. He must have made a mistake. So as we come out of campus and onto Stavelot, and he catches the curb and the puddle as well, and that spins him round, and that is why he lost time on the back of Bidstar. And that, as we look on the slow-mo, and you can see it there, yeah, it goes, kind of rides on the curb, and because there's a big puddle there as well, he just aquaplanes and nothing he can do there, and he spins round, but he still finds himself in 4th position. But just a good 12-13 second gap now between himself and Neil Farmack in 3rd position. So looking on board with Bidstar as we go down the hill onto Brussels. And Bidstar, oh my god, he loses the rear as he catches the puddle on the inside curb. Tries to rejoin, oh, nearly contact between him and Neil Farmack. Just avoids, or just stops the car just before Neil Farmack goes around him. And Neil Farmack up into 2nd position and Bidstar back down into 3rd. So we ride back on board with the pair of them on lap 13. Now guys, this is where the replay ends, or there's like 30 seconds left, and a lot of action happened in the final 6 laps. Now let me tell you that you can see the Flying Flapper is in 1st, but I actually spun the car on that very corner that Jay Houston did, and lost a lot of time, and Bidstar then went through and claimed the 1st position, and I had to settle for 2nd position. And it's a real shame that I can't show you the replay of that footage. However, let's move on to the classified results, and there's confirmation. Bidster ends up with his second win in a row and gets first place from Flying Flapper, who's in second, but his best performance of the season. Third was Jay Hewson, probably the driver of the day, because he started the race in 14th at the back of the grid, and he claims the last podium position to claim third position. Fourth was Neil Farmack, fifth was Keith, sixth was Jamo, seventh was Lil Yam, eighth was Callum Paul Banks, ninth was Blakeney, and 10th was Razorblade, although he retired on lap 15. I'm not sure why. Did he run out of fuel? I'm not sure. 11th was Stevie Q, but he retired on lap 12. 12th was Footman, he retired on lap 5. 13th was Sequan, retiring on lap 3. And TY finished in 14th, but got DQ'd at the very start of the race when he wanted to change his tyres because he had dry, slick tyres on a wet surface. Tried to put the wets on, and the game didn't allow him to do that. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Please do show your appreciation by slapping that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more racing content like this. And I'll see you next time for the final round of the championship around Sugo. So I'll see you then. Take care and bye-bye for now.